The world's best up at Sparrows, as they say around these parts, on dark, in the Red Bull Athlete Zone, preparing for what looks to be like an incredible opening day of competition. Getting the legs loose is Jack Robinson. Lakey, who's an adopted local to these parts, is preparing for 6 to 8 foot Bell's Bowl on opening day. Massive day of competition ahead of us. The World Surf League arrives in Australia for the 4th stop on the 2024 Championship Tour. The Rip Curl Pro Bells Beach, presented by Bonsoy. In Portugal, the veteran women answered the youth movement. Joanna Bay is the champion, and title favorites surged.
Gabe Medina, aggressive.
Colapinto into daylight! At Bells, defending champions are in form, poised to repeat and three-peat.
Tyler Wright, second year in a row.
At one of surfing's most iconic venues. For those struggling to find results, the mid-season cut looms near. With 2 events left, pressure is mounting on the rookies to seize their opportunity. A win changes everything. And at the Rip Curl Pro Bells Beach, presented by Bonsoy, you've got to win it to ring it. Thanks for watching Dawn Patrol on opening day of competition for the Rip Curl Pro Bells Beach, presented by Bonsoy. We are going to focus on Tyler Wright. It's her goal to go 3 in a row. Can she accomplish that feat? It's only been done twice by Carissa Moore and Gail Cooper. We'll also focus on the best on the men's tour. Equal second, Ewing and John. Griffin Colapinto back in yellow for stop number 4. Also looking at the mid-season cut, and we got to focus on it now since we've started the Australian leg. Some big names under pressure to perform at Bells, and then Margaret River to surf an entire season here in 2024 on the Championship Tour. Good morning, everybody. How good is this? The state of Victoria providing, and Bells Beach looking groomed, nice offshore. The swell was pumping yesterday, and every surfer on tour is really warmed up and prepared to compete today. Thanks for being with us. Joe Turpel alongside Felicity Palmatier and Richie Lovett. Gosh, I missed you guys. It's great to see you, Flick. First of all, what time did you wake up this morning? Because I know opening day provides a little bit of excitement for all of us.
My alarm was set for 5, but I woke up at 4, so that was a bit rude. However, we've been greeted with some beautiful conditions this morning. I haven't been here in about 10 years, so it's nice to be back. It's cold this morning, and we've got just some great heats, and also the cut looming, so a lot on the line.
Gosh, this is a big event, Rich. Obviously, we could talk about so many things with you. You've surfed in over 100 CT events. I lost count. But Bells, I mean, does it compare to any other place in the world?
No, it really doesn't. That, the annual pilgrimage down here, it's a special one. You drive around the cliff, you see the amphitheatre, that is Bells Beach, and it's an incredible feeling. There's an energy down here. 10 years, I've been doing it for over 30, which is a little bit scary, but looking forward to calling the action. Stoked to be back.
Oh, it's on. Let's get the official word downstairs. Big good morning to Laura Enever with Renato Hickel.
Yes, good morning, everybody. We are down here on the iconic Bells Beach stairs. Kanoa just getting ready to head out for his heat. The waves are pumping. It's actually pretty empty because every surfer is out there right now. Renato, tell us what we're going to do today.
It is so pumping, it's so firing. Couldn't wish for a better stuff for this iconic event. It's 6 to 8 foot bells, perfect bells, offshore winds. Maybe the odd bigger set. We have the bottom tide right at 8, so we're going to have that the whole morning towards the afternoon, that pushing tide. We hope it's going to even increase the swell. And iconic conditions. So we're going to start with men opening round, then followed by the women's opening round and men's elimination round. A huge schedule today. 30 minutes heats, and we're going to have jet ski assistance to maximize the spectacle for the fans and obviously more opportunities for the surfers.
Wow, you heard it, guys. A huge day. Back to you guys. Let's go.
Massive day today. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Renato. Renato's seen bells probably more often than most. He's been around this event for many years, a former head judge as well. As you can see, these conditions that are making them so excited to kick things off. Real groomed lines, but let's get more detailed. Bringing up the surf line match. Rick, what are you seeing?
Seeing a lot of energy. Overnight, we had that big south-southwest swell. It peaked. It was big yesterday, sort of 8 to 10 foot, a couple of even bigger ones. So this swell, it's peaked, but it's totally groomed. As we saw, it's going to produce some incredible contestable conditions over the next few days. You can see here 6 to 10 foot faces. In the afternoon, it is going to back off a little bit, and perfectly offshore conditions this morning. It'll go a little side shore this afternoon. There might be a little ripple on the face, but it's going to be a classic day, no doubt.
Classic day for today, and then looking for the next 4 days. Flick, maybe a potential to even look at Winky Pump tomorrow. We'll see.
Yeah, from what we're seeing here, it seems like we're still going to have a little bit of swell left over tomorrow, and potentially running at Winky, which would be cool. Different location, just down the beach there. But then further on the week, you're seeing it starting to drop off a little bit. But we are seeing that swell start to kick more through that Easter weekend, so maybe some potential action then.
Gosh, I just love kicking things off on opening day. And how about a little look at the track this morning? Ewing looking connected. He's looking to go back-to-back this year, Rich.
And you know, he could. The conditions last year, maybe not so favourable. But, Ethan, he's so well-rounded now. He's proven in any condition he's a real threat. And, of course, at 6 to 8 foot bells, definitely one of the favourites. He's got that beautiful, smooth style, that power approach, and certainly one of the favourites in my mind.
Did he just get barreled?
I think he just got a buzzer.
Ethan looks really calm at the press conference. I asked him, hey, is there a more important event for you on the calendar? He said, no, this is it. This is where it's all on the line. It's special to him and his family as he looks to go 2 in a row. Let's now look at the heat draw to see who's in and who is out. Congratulations, Manly Beach.
Yeah, Georgie.
George Pitar winning the Rip Curl Trials. Then you have the local trials, which is a huge tradition at Bells. It's Tully Wiley, once again, the big man, will be dealing with the world's best. More, focusing on Griffin Colapinto, actually, in that heat. Then Ellie Harrison is in the mix, featuring in her first CT debut. She's got Molly Picklum in that matchup. Joao Chianca still looking to recover from his injury at Pipeline. Will bring back a familiar face, number 5 in the world in his rookie debut. Morgan Siblick is back, and he's going to be dealing with Jack Robinson in the opening round. Flick.
Oh, wow. Big heat stacked there. I'm really excited to see Ellie.
Happiness in the Red Bull Athlete Zone, and Morgan's not worried about his hair at the moment. He's working on big power cars in the bowl. We'll see him kicking things off on opening day. Good morning, everybody. We are on opening day, men's opening round, women's opening round, and men's elimination round, all calmed on for this first day as surfers like Cade Madsen are preparing for hopefully a big result. Kanoa Igarashi getting set for the first tee of the morning. They'll also be with Ramsey Boukham from Morocco to kick off the event this year. All focus is on Tyler Wright, on her run that she's had beautifully here at Bells Beach. But before we get there, we had an amazing event at Super Tubos. It really tested your grit and surviving some cold conditions and making it into finals day. And we saw a resurgence from the veterans. They kind of changed that whole storyline for a moment with that youth movement owning the Hawaiian leg of the tour. Joanne DeFay went all the way to number 2 in the world with that big win. Tyler jumped up to number 8, making the final. But when you focus on the semifinals that we had out there, it was some of the greats, the veterans that have put in the time, and they got to send the young guns packing a little bit early out of stop number 3.
Yeah, I think maybe that youth movement sort of needs to do a little bit of homework in those sort of beach breaks, those grovelly waves, because the tour is just so diverse these days. You just can't count out that veteran and that experience in waves like that.
The marathon type fashion, surfing the jetty one day, then back at Super Tubos. I mean, that's typically when experience pays off.
Yeah, absolutely. That ability to adapt, you can't discount that. You know, there's a reason these veterans have been here a long time. It's that consistency, that ability to be able to really, you know, adapt to whatever conditions are put in front of them and put their best foot forward on the day, and that's exactly what they did.
And then we look at Bells. There's eras. We're living in the Tyler Wright era now.
Yeah.
And, you know, Steph taking a year off with Carissa, kind of undisclosed about when she might do competitively. Courtney's off tour now. It's just, you know, we got Sally in the draw from back in 2011, 2012. And then Tyler trying to go 3 in a row. Only Gail Cooper and Carissa have done that in the past. Are we seeing anybody that's going to disrupt Tyler's run this season at Bells Beach?
For me, and in my opinion, it's got to be Molly. I mean, she runner-up here last year to Tyler, and I think the most informed female surfer this year on the tour that I've seen so far. She's so committed. She's just come at this year, and I really don't think anyone has got a shoe-in. I even asked earlier on this year who was going to win a world title. I just said it straight away. I just feel like it's Molly's year.
That's
it's
a good
big
call, Flick. I mean, she made the final last year. She's back in yellow in Australia just like she was last year as well. Richie?
Well, yeah, I don't disagree with you. I think Molly's in great form. I think we're yet to see her best surfing down here. I'm going to go with Betty Lusakura-Johnson. I think she's starting to feel comfortable on the tour now. We've seen her grow. We've seen her experience start to come into play over the last couple of seasons. I think she's surfing better than ever. She's got Ross Williams in her corner, a ton of experience down here as well. And I just feel like she's on a bit of a roll right now.
Great point there. Betty Lou's got a big opening round tee with some local knowledge of India Robinson and also that kind of adopted local of Lakey Peterson, since Lakey husband is a local here to Bells Beach. Big one for Betty Lou as we now focus on the men and that top 3 picture of who's really the most informed. Medina felt like he switched fire at Portugal, and he's ready to try to ring his first bell this year. We'll be right back.
We are gathered here at Jarak. Jarak is the traditional name of Bells Beach.
It truly feels like the backbone of surfing. It's been there before any other event on the calendar, and it's still going.
You have an opportunity to go and paint the most amazing picture for the fans on the hill.
There's so much history behind this wave. There's so many great performances, so many, past champions and greats in our sport that have won in this event.
It's the one trophy that's lasted throughout time, that bell. Everyone wants a bell.
Honestly, it's the only trophy I want. It's the only trophy I want to win.
Knowing that every great has come through, it's what everyone fights for, what everyone dreams about. For me, it starts at the stairs. You walk down the stairs and you look at all the names of the people that were lucky enough to ring the bell.
Let's celebrate 50 years with a great partnership with Rip Curl and the World Surf League. It's such a beautiful story, born right here in Torquay. From Doug Claw Warbrick and Brian Singer, the founders of Rip Curl back in 1969, doing so much for the sport of surfing. And they'll be watching every single heat. Oh my goodness, it's pumping. Kanoa Garashi, Ramsey Bukiam, and Kate Madsen will be kicking things off in the opening round of competition. How good is this? Joe Turpel, the Flick, and Richie Lovett here for the Dawn Patrol Report. We've been really excited to see a few different names win the first 3 stops of the season. You know, we've got Baron Mamiya, then Jack Robinson, then Griffin when we look at the first 3 stops of the year. And we focus in on the top 3 in the world. Tied for second is Ewing and John coming into Bells Beach. Ethan with a bell, John with a bell, and Griffin with all this motivation being back in yellow, finding his happy place. Super zenful type approach for Griff. As you can see, their average placings this year. Colapinto getting almost a 10-point ride in the final over Ewing. Loved his heat with Medina in the semifinals, as they said they wanted more at the press conference. So there's some big rivalries coming into stop number 4 this year. But if you could try to pick out one name there, start with you, Rich, of who's looking the most in form out of that crew. Who are you going with?
I'm going with Ethan Ewing. I feel like there's a consistency to his performance at the moment. He's really starting to lean into that. But his performance performances as a surfer are anything but pedestrian. His consistency at a high level is extraordinary, and he's proven even with his latest result in Portugal there in those smaller beach break conditions, he was on fire, on point, really energetic in those little waves. And then when you get him in stuff like this that you're seeing on the screen, that is right into his wheelhouse. And I feel like this Aussie leg is going to serve him well. Those big open face right-handers here at Bells, and then maybe in the right-handers at Margaret River as well. I think he's going to be really hard to stop here through the Aussie leg.
Gosh, he's evolved too. Where he used to make mistakes. Now he's forcing his competitors to make mistakes against him. True vet. Are you going to agree with Rich? Because that's totally fair, Flick.
Look, I don't disagree, but I'm going to go with the other world number 2. We've got John.
Yeah.
I feel that he was surfing really well in Portugal. He got a second, obviously, at the start of the year at Pike. Went on to Sunset. He got that 5th place. Got a 9th in Peniche there at Portugal. But I just feel like this year, I mean, he's looking in really good nick, so to say. You know, he's had a couple of years where he's had a few injuries. They've been niggling. Hasn't finished a couple of seasons. This year, I just feel like there's a different energy. He looks really fired up. There's a different approach, a different sort of mindset that he's taking into this year. And even in his post-heat interviews, I've just noticed this sort of mindset shift, and he just feels really hungry to me. That's what I've been seeing. So yeah, coming here to Bells, obviously you can see with surfing like that big, huge forehand arcing carve. I just feel like it goes part and parcel, hand in hand here.
Gosh, great choices, both of you guys. And I was just looking at John's heat. John Florence, Seth Moniz, Kelly Slater in that opening round heat as we get prepared for a massive day of competition. Quick break here on Dawn Patrol, and we'll be right back. The Rip Curl Pro acknowledges we are here at Jurac on Wadawurrung country. We acknowledge Wadawurrung people as the traditional owners of the land and waterways we are on today. We pay our respects to Wadawurrung people, their elders past, present, and emerging, and extend this acknowledgement to First Nation peoples here today. Oh, it was such a beautiful opening ceremony just yesterday morning. A beautiful sunrise happening here live, and pumping conditions on the south-southwest are just greeting the Bells Bowl. A beautiful opening day setting up for us with Kanoa, Ramsey, Cade Madsen kicking things off for us this morning, and Water Patrol starting to clear the lineup for a quick start. One thing that we've been trying to avoid talking about in deep length this year is that mid-season cut. Well, we're here. We're in Australia. It's all going to happen in Margaret River, where the tour goes from 17 women to 10, 34 men to 22. So it's unavoidable now. As we look at where we are in the rankings, there's going to be some surfers that are really going to need to fight away from that pressure and put on a huge performance, starting with the women's side. Flick, who are you going to see make a big charge and get past that mid-season cut line?
Look, there's a lot of good names that I can pick out there. I see a lot of surfers with potential, but for me, I've got my eye on Sally. I feel like, obviously, she's won back-to-back bells out here in 2011 and 12, and she's just got so much experience. She's been coming here for years and years and years since she was a grommy, and I just feel like she's been on a bit of a journey. She's fell off tour. She smashed the Challenger Series. She's back on, and yeah, I've got to go with Sally there.
Yeah, seeing also Sally with her intensity that she brings every single year. She's redefining herself once again. She's got so many laps out here at Bells. That's a great choice there. Richie, did one stand out for you kind of on the wrong side of the cut line at the moment?
Just under the wrong side was Gabrielle O'Brien. I feel like her surfing this year has been on point, but the results just haven't converted yet, and it's going to happen any minute. She had that breakout event in Margaret River a couple of seasons ago and really found some form there. And I feel like with this forecast in particular, that big open face power carve that she has is going to come into play. I'd love to see her jump a few spots.
It's gotten more powerful.
Oh, yeah, it has.
That crazy carve, and joined with Richard Dog March for the coaching responsibilities. That's going to be a good one there. On the men's side, we look at the list. Member cut is at 22. There's some ties that will be broken at this event. Kind of a traffic jam right there on the cut line. Flick, who's going to make a charge?
Oh, wow. It's just the same thing again. There's so many names I could pick out here, and I feel like the tour is so diverse these days that you just can never really pick, your clear winner. But I've got to go with Callum. Just right underneath that cut line. Obviously in his rookie year, he had a final out here, which is an amazing performance. And yeah, I think he's going to be a massive threat out here.
Great call there. Runner up to Felipe Toledo. Callum was that underdog story as he's already fresh out of the water. Nice little warm-up session for Caltex. But yeah, he's got some heats to win heading here into stop number 4. Going to you, Rich. Are you going with Callum as well as your focus?
No, I'm actually going to pick Jacob Wilcox, who rookie year, but maybe a veteran wildcard performer. So much experience down here, and I was just expecting a little bit more from Jacob. I feel like his surfing is so suited to the CT format, and we just haven't really seen him click yet, and I feel like he's got to get a move on. But coming into a place where he's super comfortable, obviously here at Bells, and then we're going home to his home break at Margaret River.
As we look at your choice there, Callum Robson, he's got Crosby, Colapinto, Jake Marshall, the Californians that really stepped up and made finals day over there in Europe, and Jacob Wilcox. He had a wild card performance that took him to the final series here in the past. He's going to have Tully Wiley, also world number 1, Griffin Colapinto.
Wow.
It's crazy how seeding works once you get to this part. If you're not making heats, you're going to have to deal with the top 5 story.
Oh, and at the moment, they're just looking all so in form. You've got Ethan Ewing, you've got John there. And I think about Ethan, he's just so incredible out here. Today's going to be jam-packed. Like, I'm really excited.
And you haven't even had a coffee
yet.
I know,
watch out.
Hey, you know what, Rich? Enjoy the next couple of heats. Grab a cup of tea, and we will wait for the countdown to kick off the opening heat of the morning.